Have you ever heard a sound in the dead of night that just didn't belong? A whisper on the wind, a distant melody, or maybe the rumble of a train where no tracks exist. Tonight, we're journeying to the forgotten corners of our world, to a place haunted by echoes of the past. We're talking about the chilling legend of the ghost train of Riverside Station. Our story begins in the late 19th century, a time of great ambition and industrial marvels. The town of Riverside was a bustling hub, its lifeblood the newly constructed railway line that promised prosperity and connection to the wider world. Riverside Station wasn't just a building. It was the heart of the community, a symbol of a bright future. Every day, the hiss of steam and the shrill whistle of locomotives filled the air, carrying people to new lives and bringing loved ones home. But one train, known as the Midnight Express, was special. It was the last train of the night, a lifeline for miners and factory workers returning from long shifts in the neighboring city. Its arrival was a nightly ritual, its headlamp a beacon cutting through the darkness, signaling the end of another hard day's work. Families would wait on the platform, their faces illuminated by the station's gas lamps, eager to welcome their fathers, husbands, and sons. The conductor of the Midnight Express was a man named Samuel Blackwood. Sam wasn't just an employee of the railroad. He was a pillar of the community. He knew every regular by name, shared jokes with the children, and always had a kind word for the weary. He took immense pride in his work, ensuring his passengers always made it home safe and sound. His dedication was legendary, and the Midnight Express was his domain. But on a cold, starless night in October of 1888, everything changed. A storm, the likes of which no one had ever seen, descended upon the region. Rain fell in blinding sheets, and the wind howled like a vengeful spirit. The river that gave the town its name swelled, its waters churning violently and rising at an alarming rate. At Riverside Station, families waited, their anxiety growing with each passing minute. The Midnight Express was late. Miles down the track, Samuel Blackwood and his crew were battling the elements. The train, packed with over 100 passengers, struggled against the gale-force winds. The tracks were slick, visibility was near zero, and every creek they crossed had become a raging torrent. Sam, ever the professional, remained calm, his hand steady on the controls. He was determined to get his passengers home. They were approaching the old trestle bridge, just a few miles from Riverside. It was a sturdy iron structure, but the river below was a furious, roaring monster. As the train began to cross, a deafening crack echoed through the storm. The foundations of the bridge, weakened by the relentless floodwaters, had given way. With a horrifying groan of twisting metal and splintering wood, the bridge collapsed, plunging the Midnight Express and everyone on board into the icy, turbulent river below. There were no survivors. The town of Riverside was plunged into a state of shock and grief. Almost every family had lost someone. The heart of the community had been ripped out. In the days that followed, the wreckage was cleared, but the river never gave up all of its secrets. The town was never the same. The station, once a symbol of hope, became a monument to a tragedy that had shattered their world. Within a few years, the railway line was reroaded and Riverside Station was abandoned. The once bustling platforms fell silent. The ticket hall filled with dust and decay, and nature began to reclaim what was hers. The town itself slowly faded, its residents moving away, unable to live with the constant reminder of their loss. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, this is where it truly begins. Locals who remained started to report strange occurrences. On the anniversary of the crash, and on other cold, stormy nights, they would hear it. The faint, mournful whistle of a steam train in the distance. Some claimed to see a single ghostly light cutting through the fog, moving along the path where the tracks used to be. It would travel towards the old, dilapidated station, slow down as if to stop, and then vanish into thin air. They called it the ghost train. For decades, the legend grew. It became a local ghost story, a tale told to scare children on Halloween. But for some, it was much more. Old-timers swore they could not only hear the whistle, but also the clatter of wheels on non-existent rails, the hiss of phantom steam, and even the faint muffled voices of passengers. In the 1970s, a group of paranormal investigators decided to spend a night at the abandoned Riverside Station on the anniversary of the disaster. They set up their equipment, recorders, cameras, temperature gauges, and waited. For hours, there was nothing but the sound of the wind rattling the broken windows. Just as they were about to pack it in, it happened. Just after midnight, their audio equipment picked up the unmistakable sound of a train whistle. It grew louder and louder, seemingly coming right towards them. The temperature in the station plummeted. Then they heard the rhythmic chugging of a steam engine and the screech of brakes. One of the investigators, looking out onto the overgrown platform, swore he saw faint ethereal figures, men and women in 19th century attire, stepping out of thin air as if disembarking from a train only they could see. The apparitions lingered for a moment before fading away, and then, as quickly as it had begun, the sounds ceased. The silence that followed was, as they later described, deafening. Their recordings became famous in paranormal circles. The audio clearly captured the train sounds, and when analyzed, faint, disembodied voices could be heard, murmuring phrases like "home soon" and "what a storm." So what is the ghost train of Riverside Station? Is it a classic residual haunting, an echo of a traumatic event imprinted on the environment, replaying itself over and over like a film loop? Is the powerful emotion of that night the fear, the desperation, the longing to get home so strong that it has permanently scarred the landscape? Or could it be something more? Some theories suggest that the spirits of the passengers and crew, including the dedicated conductor Samuel Blackwood, are still trying to complete their final journey. Perhaps Sam, in his ghostly form, is still at the helm, determined to bring his passengers to the station where their loved ones are forever waiting. But it's a poignant, heartbreaking thought that their spirits are caught in a loop, forever traveling, but never arriving. To this day, brave or foolish souls venture out to the ruins of Riverside Station. The building is barely standing, a skeleton of its former self, but the legend is stronger than ever. Visitors report sudden cold spots, the feeling of being watched, and the disembodied scent of coal smoke and steam. And on certain nights, if you stand very still and listen very carefully, you might just hear it to the lonely whistle of the Midnight Express, still trying to make its way home through the storm. The story of the ghost train serves as a powerful reminder that some events are so tragic, so emotionally charged, that they refuse to be forgotten. They leave an indelible mark not just on our history books, but perhaps on the very fabric of time and space itself. What do you think? Is it just a story, or are the spirits of the Midnight Express still out there, lost between worlds? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me on this chilling journey. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.